Slade. My hobbies include mountain biking, backcountry skiing, and my family and friends say I have an inability to sit still. My father started R&O construction in 1979. I was 10 years old. I had the opportunity to work with Les Randall, who's a farmer. He's the R of R&O construction. But I moved water pipes and I hauled hay with him from about the age of 14, and he just taught me the value of hard work and a job done right. From there, went on to work for R&O construction, and the joke was I was handed a broom. I got the impression that I had to have the broom until I wore the bristles off. And my concern was if I lost it, I was probably going to have to start over with the broom until I wore it off. So I graduated from a broom to a shovel to a hammer. I went on to college. Didn't take my grades seriously enough, so my father gave me the opportunity to go back out in the field. Worked in Jackson Hole for a year, worked in Las Vegas for a year. Realized that if I wanted to progress into the office, I needed to get back to school and take it more seriously. So went back to BYU's construction management and engineering program. From that, though, when I graduated, my dad wouldn't hire me. He just didn't. I vividly remember driving down to BYU with Orloff and Frank McDonough and them asking me, who should we hire down there? And I'm literally sitting in the back seat like, well, why not me? A few weeks later, Lynn Wright, who was the operations manager for R&O Construction, called me. I remember leaning up against the locker, said he was going to hire me, followed by about a 3 to 5 minute dissertation on if I ever hear you use your last name to try to promote yourself, you won't work here again. Worked up to a project manager, did a very brief stint as an estimator, won the job I was bidding and then had to run it, so got an appreciation of hiring quality subs. Was able to work up into a vice president and then president and CEO. My family means everything. It's, wife always said I shouldn't apologize for getting emotional, but family is why you go to work. My wife is our core. She gives us our direction. She keeps us together. She makes sure that our values are all aligned. My kids, I couldn't be more proud of them. Beyond that, I have my extended family, which is R&O. I'm responsible for 178 families. We take that seriously. None of our employees are a number. Every position matters. That's why I love doing what I do. My dad had always taught me that arrogance is not good. Everybody has some, but as long as you recognize it, it's okay. So during this time of 2006 to 2008, me and a few of the other new leaders of R&O thought we were pretty good.
Now it's official, we are in a recession.
I think this is the most significant financial crisis in the post-war period.
There are fears the sell-off will continue on Wall Street.
Soaring gas prices, falling home prices, and rising unemployment.
That was probably, well, the hardest leadership decisions we have ever had to make individually and as a team. Making decisions in a very profitable year in 2008 to say we're not going to pay bonuses, but we're going to set the money aside and we're going to carry employees for 2 to 3 to 4 years. It was honestly the best decision and the hardest one we've ever made. To this day, I'm proud of our team that that's what we did. As I've grown in R&O and watched other employees be able to develop their careers and watch their families grow, and that and the relationships we built with our clients, that is the most rewarding part of my position. The very first client we ever worked for was Smith's. Just had lunch with all of them 2 weeks ago. We continue to work with them, and that's been, I believe, 44 years now. And I believe that says something about our company, our culture, but most of all about our employees and their commitment to the company and doing stuff right. Being elected the chair of AGC is honestly humbling. I've had the opportunity to sit shoulder to shoulder with whom I consider the best in the industry. I dare say most of them may be more qualified. To have their confidence and respect is also energizing. So the core values of AGC of skill, responsibility, and integrity are what we base all of our decisions on. Skill is the opportunities that are given to people who are members and people who are not. We have continuing education opportunities. We have our own training center. Integrity is not about who's right and who's wrong, it's about what's right. Responsibility as a value, we as a board anyway have a responsibility to our members to give them an ROI on what they're paying for. We have a lot of work to do as it relates to getting the younger next generation interested in our industry. I've talked to superintendents and guys in the field who are not going home and telling their kids that they should get in the construction industry. The hours are long, the stress is high, the anxiety is high. So I look at what I'm learning more recently about what mental health really is and realizing it's okay not to be okay. That is hard because it's an industry that has been taught that you're tough, that you don't get cold, that you don't cry, that you don't take no for an answer. I mean, that is what we've been taught for the last, 100 years. So now to be able to step forward and say, hey, I do have an issue, has to be dealt with. We have to make sure it stays at the forefront. And I know it will because it's part of the AGC's strategic plan. My message to the next generation, as they're considering joining the Associated General Contractors of Utah, is realize that I guess you have two options. You can figure it out on your own, and it's going to cost you a lot of money as you learn lessons. Or take the opportunity to step forward and join a committee, to be able to have interactions with the best and the brightest people in our industry. That is priceless.